This is my math homework number 2, Monday. For the first one, it says find the product. 18 times 342. So let's go and write 342 up top times 18. The first thing you should do is multiply the 8. That is your ones, so let's go and multiply that. 8 times 2 is 16, we carry our 1. 8 times 4 is 32, add 1 is 33, carry the 3. 8 times 3 is 24, add 3 is 27. So far, our first partial product is 2,736. Let's go ahead and erase this portion now. And now we can get started on the tens. 1 times 2, actually you have to put a 0 first. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. And 1 times 3 is 3. That's 3,420. We can now add these two partial products, and then that will give us the sum. 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. 7 plus 4 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So our product should be 6,156. Let's go on to number 2, which is find the quotient. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. So let's go and rewrite this out. There's my 13. Here's 325, my dividend. And this is my divisor. Now let's go and find our quotient. 13 cannot go into 3, so we put an X. 13 can go into 32. We have to figure out how many times. On the side, I'd like to try different ones. Let's try 3. Let's see where that takes us. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 1 times 3 is 3. Obviously, 39 is bigger than 32, so we cannot use 3. It's probably going to be 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. That's 26. So we can put it 2 up top, and now do 32 minus 26. 2 minus 6, we cannot do that. We have to borrow next door. This becomes a 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. Now we bring this down, and that makes it 65. I know 13 can go into 65. We just have to figure out how many times. It has to be more than 3, because if we multiply 13 times 3, that's 39. Let's go ahead and try 5. The reason why I want to try 5 is because I know this has to end with a 5, and I know 3 times 5 is going to be 15. There's my 5. Okay, I carry my 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Add 1 is 6. And I knew it. My 5 goes up top. 65 minus 65 is 0. There's no remainders. Our quotient is 25. Let's go into the third one. It says find the sum. 4 and 22 hundredths plus 8 and 13 hundredths. Alright, let's go and add this up. Going from right to left. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3. Our decimal goes straight down. And 4 plus 8 is 12. So we know that the sum is 12 and 35 hundredths. Alright, let's move on to the fourth one. Is find the difference. Difference tells us to subtract. So let's go and write this down. 98 and 19 hundredths minus 14 and 3 hundredths. 9 minus 3 is 6. 1 minus 0 is 1. Decimal goes straight down. 8 minus 4 is 4. 9 minus 1 is 8. The difference is 84 and 16 hundredths. Here's our fifth one. We have to simplify some fractions. Here's the first one, 8 tenths. And the second one is 2 eighths. So you must think of a number that your numerator and your denominator can be divided by. In this case, you have an 8 and a 10. And the only option is going to be 2. Because 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we know that 8 tenths and 4 fifths are equivalent, meaning that they're the same. It's just been simplified. And for bottom one is going to be 2 and 2 once again. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we know that 2 8ths and 1/4 are equivalent. Last one, to the tricky one. We have to solve for this. Let's go and write this out. 8 to the power of 2, or you can say 8 squared plus 3 times parentheses 36 divided by 6, and then at the end subtract 2. Now to do this, you must know something called the order of operations, meaning that there's a specific order to doing things. So an easy way to remember that is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the P stands for, the P stands for parentheses. So if you ever see parentheses, you will do that first. Your next one is called an exponent. For example, the little guy that's hanging out up top, that's an exponent. You must do that second. Then you must multiply or divide, and that one you can do it based on which one comes first, from left to right. And lastly, addition, subtraction, you must do it from left to right. So let's go and take our math problem. There is a parentheses. Here is the parentheses. So we must take care of that first. I know that 36 divided by 6 is 6. So what I like to do is I like to rewrite the whole entire math problem. Here's the 8 squared plus 3 and then times 6. Because we know that this is going to lead us to the answer of 6. Because 36 divided by 6 is 6. And then after I have my answer of 6, I drop the parentheses. So I have my parentheses done. The next one is exponents, and I do have an exponents. Now a lot of kids might think that 8 squared means 8 times 2, which is 16. That's actually incorrect. So the way exponents work is, it tells that number, the base, this is called the base, to multiply itself with that many times. So it's like making copies, it's like making clones. So this one, let me go ahead and erase this, should be 8 times 8. There's 2 copies of 8, and 8 times 8 is 64. So this should be 64 now, then it's plus 3 times 6 minus 2. Once again, this 8 squared does not mean 8 times 2, it means 8 times 8. If it was 8 to the third power, it would be 8 times 8 times 8. Now let's go and finish this up. We did the exponent. Now you have to either multiply or divide, and there's no division, there is a multiplication right here in the middle. So let's go and do that. Now we leave the 64, and then we add 18. The reason why we add 18 is because 3 times 6 gives us 18. Then it's subtract 2. Then we go ahead and add 64 plus 18, and we could do that by writing it this way if we like. 8 plus 4 is 12, carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, 7 plus 1 is 8. Now it's 82 minus 2, and that gives us an answer of 80. So that's how you're going to do the order of operations.